The New York Giants are going on the road one more time this week in another must-win game. This time, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Can they pull the win? Let's break down the game. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Breaking Tackles, the New York Giants podcast. I am your host, as always, Antonio Reyes. Alright, guys, the Giants finally get a win over the Saints, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that game a little bit before we break down the Cowboys game that's coming up on Sunday, and it's another must-win game for the Giants, and we'll break that down. It's a scary game. It's going to be a fun game. The Cowboys look really good. Their last game against the Panthers, I just looked over that video, and honestly, there was a lot of hard hitting. There was a lot of big plays from the Cowboys. They look like a complete team, but we'll get back to that. Let's talk about real quick about the Giants' overtime win against the Saints, 27-21. That game was crazy, man. It felt like it was going to be another disappointing Giants loss. And the Giants just turned it up from 0 to 100 in that game. Let's talk about real quick on defense and offense, what we didn't like about that game and what we did like about that game. We'll start off with the defense first. I'm going to say this, and hopefully I am right eventually, but this week I was wrong about Crowder. Crowder, at least this week, yes, he was making the calls, maybe positioning everybody in the correct area, but he just looked lost out there, not doing enough. It was a heavy run. It was a heavy run game plan for the Saints out there, and I just saw him too many times getting caught on the wash. Didn't see him too many times perform any type of tackles. Yes, he had 4 tackles in that game, but still, it's just. Obviously, Blake Martinez, who is filling out the shoes, and yes, he is not going to have that many tackles. I prefer him. Obviously, I think that what he's gonna thrive is, or he's gonna shine, is going to be in the pass game. Well, this week is coming up against the Cowboys. Cowboys love to throw the ball, so it's not gonna be like the Saints game where we're gonna get this run game going on. It was predominantly a run game. Yes, don't get me wrong. The Cowboys are going ahead and run the ball too, and they're going to line up in formations where it's going to be very big formations like jumbo sets, and that's going to be scary. So hopefully Crowder this week looks better than the week before with the Saints game. Also, another thing too is too many plays where Winston left a pocket that made me uncomfortable. We got to get our outside linebackers to just do a better job at containing the play. And this seems to be like every week we're having this conversation where Lorenzo Cardo, Shane Simonez, it's just been a quiet season so far for our outside guys with the exception of Ojulari. So we need our ends, our outside linebackers, to just step it up a big notch, and we just haven't gotten that presence from our outside linebackers. Again, I don't think that I'm gonna say this. I don't think that we need to go outside and get anybody else. I do believe in those guys. They just need to come up and step it up a little bit more. We need to see. I'm not seeing the blitz when the Giants blitz. They are blitzing, but the blitzes are not getting there. We're seeing these middle linebackers like Tate Crowder not get penetrate in, and that's concerning to me because we need to have those plays where we're just smacking the quarterback on those blitzes. We can't give that much time. Everybody's getting caught up, like I like to call it, in the wash, which is the offensive line is just keeping you stagnant there. Third and 9, the Giants, there was a particular play before the Saints scored on a touchdown to Watson. Johnson is their tight end. And it was 3rd and 9, and the Giants decided to go man coverage. That was by far the most annoying play, in my opinion, when it comes to the Giants defense. And they gave up that first down where I'm like, why would we play man in that situation when it's just blitz the quarter? I mean, when rush the passer, pin your ears back and play zone. It was such an annoying play to see. That's actually like one of my most annoying plays that I saw. the safeties, we need to see more in terms of turnovers from Peppers, McKinney, and Ryan. We need these guys to come up with a big play coming up against the Cowboys this week. Hopefully, we will see something like that. But right now, we just need to see turnovers from them. Yes, we've seen fumble recoveries from these guys and forced fumbles. But can we see a turnover in terms of interceptions? Bradbury had an interception this week. Let's see if we can get this interception bug going, and hopefully we will. Other than that, though, let's be honest. The Giants kept the Saints, which in my opinion it's a good offense. Not a great offense, but a good offense. You kept them to 21 points. And again, this is the second week in a row where the Giants are keeping their opponent under 21 or at 21. Listen, like I mentioned this on Twitter, if it's an elite offense like the Cowboys are coming up and the Giants can keep them to 24 points, the Giants got to win that game. The offense has to win that game. When you keep opponents under 21, you got to win those games in this NFL because 21 points is nothing. It's only 3 scores. You can get 3 scores and a field goal and win those games. So much props. At the end of the day, the Giants defense is not looking great. But yeah, they go ahead and they have another week where they only give up 21 points. And that's all you can ask for them. Bend but don't break. That's fine. But let's go ahead and let's limit our scores. Last week, we only gave up 17 points. So I'm happy about that. Again, the Cowboys are coming in. If we could keep the Cowboys under 24 points, again, we have to win that game on offense. Now let's go to the offensive side of the ball. The Giants started off another first quarter with no score. They didn't score at all in the first quarter. There were just times where the team Daniel Jones had a 400-yard game, and he's a player of the week in the NFL. I am not 100% satisfied with this performance, though, because 400 yards and we only got 27 points. And mind you, this also included with overtime, and still we're not able to get more points on the board. And there was just a lot of things that I saw in that game where it was, hey, he had a very clean pocket. And listen, we get to the point that Daniel Jones is not going to extend plays. He still hasn't done it this year where he maybe rolls out to one of the sides of the pocket and waits for receivers to get open. But also, and this is more important, his wide receivers are standing still instead of going into the scramble drill. I've noticed that now that I've gotten some type of coach's tape, and that's something that the New York Giants need to work on. Jason Garrett needs to take responsibility for that. I put the whole blame on that on Daniel Jones. But at the end of the day, if the wide receivers are not playing that scramble drill, that backyard football, once the play just doesn't work, then what the hell is Daniel Jones going to do? The only thing he can do is possibly scramble, and he's not even doing that. There was just plays where he would just wait, and then hit the check down, and sometimes the check down was either 3 or 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and it just was nothing there. The Giants wide receivers, please have to play scramble drill, and they have to show something out there, because even if Daniel Jones is not going to move outside of the pocket, he's going to stay in the pocket, and the pocket is just going to be that well protected during the week for a good period of time. Then it's up to the Giants wide receivers to play that scramble drill and get open. It's not on Jones. It's on the wide receivers. What I would like to see from Jones is just scramble a little bit more. That play where Saquon fell down twice and then he waited for Saquon to get back up and finally hit him. Here's my problem with that play, guys, and this is what I've been trying to explain to you on Twitter the whole time. I'm a player. I fall down twice. I'm trying to get up right away. I'm not even 100% sure of my awareness where's the nearest defender or any of that sort of thing. A lot of bad things could have happened in that play where Daniel Jones could have thrown it to Saquon, and Saquon could have gotten jacked up, and that's an old term right there, but he could have gotten hit stick, could have gotten lit up. Luckily, it was none of that. I mean, Daniel Jones get a couple of Saquon Barkley did a couple of jukes, and he was able to eventually he fumbled the ball, but again, we recovered it, and it was no harm, no foul, except for it was a loss of play because the ball bounced backwards. But it's just something, again, where I would prefer not to see that. Hey, just scramble right there, or throw the ball away, or again, let's get these wide receivers to run scramble drills. So there's something that they're absolutely not doing, and I'm actually gonna go check that play back again, and I'm gonna see what what the offensive wide receivers were doing in that play. Besides that, let's talk about the great things that we saw from this team. And it was, first and foremost, those play actions that Daniel Jones was doing was amazing. It was just on point. And we need to see more plays where he is doing play action and just throwing it down the field. Let Daniel Jones throw the ball. It was 40 pass attempts in this game. Thank God, Jason Garrett, that you actually put the ball in Daniel Jones' hand. That's what I've been asking for, man. If we got to see if this kid is the one. And if this kid is going to be the one, he has to control the game by his hands and his feet. Obviously, he didn't do much with his feet this game, but by his hands, he did. He had 40 pass attempts. Kadarius Toney, welcome to the NFL. This was your breakout game. This was the game that you put the league on notice. And there's still yet so much to go. This guy is so hard to tackle. I can only imagine when this guy puts on a little bit more weight. Kadarius Toney is going to be a beast, and if he's not a beast already. Galladay, man, what can we say? This guy is just making contested catches, big plays. Again, give him some space. The one thing I'm going to say is Ingram needs to get some plays down the field, man, or some screens. The way that this offense is using Evan Ingram, it is despicable. The guy had 6 targets, 5 catches, 1 drop, I believe. And it's just like, come on, please give this guy a passing route that's longer than 5 to 7 yards. That's the only thing that I'm going to have a problem with that. Other than that, Saquon just went off in the second half. He showed us that, listen, we understand Jason Garrett has a really weird playbook where he is not doing outside runs. I don't know why. The only outside runs we see this team do is sweeps. So Saquon actually took it upon his own matter, man. He was running a dive and just completely crashed it to the outside and got some yards there. It was awesome to see. And the very next play, he had a outside run, actually. So it was a pull. It was like kind of like a zone pull. We had 2 linemen pulling in that play, and we just saw Saquon be patient and wait till something open up. He only got like 3 yards around that, and that's because it was also run to the short side of the field. I don't understand why you're running that to the short side of the field, but that's another thing where Jason Garrett, we got a better play calling performance from Garrett. Hopefully the Giants take another step forward, not another step backwards, and that's what we have to see. And that was it. That's what I want to recap about that game with the Saints. Let's go ahead and talk about the Dallas Cowboys and what are they gonna and what are we facing coming up this Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys, let's talk about real quick. Let's start off with their defense. It's a 3-4 scheme, and they just got rid of Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, it looks like he's going to go ahead and sign with Green Bay. They're not going to miss him because they have just a linebacker going on over there in Dallas. Michael Parsons, they got Kyle Van Der Esch. Michael Parsons looks like the real deal. This guy could line up at defensive end or linebacker and just make plays. This kid is smooth. He has a great size. I wish we drafted him this year, but hey, listen, we got Kadarius Toney. That's not bad at all, especially how he pulled off last week. The Cowboys defense, guys, it's huge. The Giants are not going. I'm going to say this right now, and you can hear it in this podcast. The Giants are not going to work the dive plays effectively. If the Giants get these dive plays working, I will be 100% shocked. It's just a way bigger defensive line, and it's a bigger linebackers. I think if you want to work the run game in this, you're going to have to run it outside zone. You're going to have to pull to the outside because, yes, they're big, but I didn't really see the speed in this defensive line. Maybe the linebackers have a good enough speed, but Hopefully we wash down the defensive line and pick up the linebackers and the blocks. Stunts. The Cowboys like to run a lot of stunts. Lineman stunts, DE, tackle stunts, outside linebackers with the defensive ends. They love running those stunts. We have a hard time stopping stunts, and we need to figure that out this week more than any other week. The Cowboys also, on top of that, running stunts, which is kind of like I would say it's kind of like a blitz, because it's just an unexpected way that the defense is going. They run a ton of blitzes. They get a ton of pressure, and that's something that we're gonna go have to. Listen, if Daniel Jones, I understand Daniel Jones didn't scramble a lot last week, but if he is not using his legs the way that Darnold was using his legs last week, and Darnold lost, by the way, but if Darnold would have not been using his legs, that game would have been a lot uglier than we would have seen. Mind you, the game ended 36-28, and that score doesn't really even determine the dominance that the Cowboys had on that game. But Darnold had 2 touchdowns on the ground on top of 2 throwing touchdowns, guys. So that lets you know that that Darnold did a lot and still just wasn't enough. And mind you, and we'll talk about it real quick, but we'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys offense. But this was one of the top, if not the top rated ranked defense for the Carolina Panthers. And the Cowboys were able to score 36 points. So that is something that it's crazy, it's ugly, but we're gonna have to make things happen. For the Giants, what I would like to see in this game, it's a lot of slants, a lot of crossing routes. Get the play action, get the deception, get the screens going on. The screen game is gonna have to be important again, because it's just the deception game against a team who is physically more imposing than us. I don't think that if we just line up and play, we're going to have a fun time against the Giants. Right now, the turnover differential right now for the Dallas Cowboys is +7. So these guys are having an amazing year right now on defense too, guys. If we're going to challenge Trayvon Diggs, let's challenge him on our ways. It's not going to be like on a slant. It's not going to be on short passes where his hips are turned to the quarterback. It's going to be in deep routes. Let's challenge him on deep routes, and let's see if he could go up on a jump ball and take away the ball that way. But obviously, Trayvon is probably going to be on Galladay, and we're not going to just not throw to Galladay because Trayvon Diggs is on him. So let's see how that works, man. But we need to get our scrambles. We need to get our RPOs. Daniel Jones' leg has to win this game, in my opinion, as much as his arm, or it's going to be an ugly game. To the offensive side of the Dallas Cowboys, they run a spread offense. For the most part, they run that 11 personnel. Or if they're not running the 11 personnel, they're out there with 2 tight ends, sometimes even 3 tight ends out there and just a single back. Their jumbo formation, when they had, I saw it was 13 out there. So it was one running back and 3 tight ends. And I'm going to tell you one thing, that is, when I saw that formation, I automatically was scared. Because I'm like, how the hell are the Giants going to stop the run? The Cowboys offensive line, and when they bring in those extra tight ends, quote unquote, which are just linemen for the most part, it's maybe one tight end who's actually a pass catching tight end, and their pass catching tight end is a monster. Just plays great block. It's a great blocker. So the Cowboys could come in this week, and they don't even have to have that 11 personnel mentality. I think the Cowboys will be way more successful if they're running their 13 personnels and they're doing plays of the 13 personnel. Hopefully they don't try to run the ball that much, and they just try to go crazy with the passing. But that's something that we're going to see, and it's going to be real interesting to watch the Giants try to stop the run game for this team, just because, again, they're just a big, imposing offensive line. They look really good against one of the best defenses again. And Shaq Thompson played a good game, and still they give up a lot of plays on offense The Patriots. I mean, the Panthers gave up a lot of plays on defense. When Pollard comes on the field, Tony Pollard, it's not somebody to take lightly. I sometimes feel like he is way more dangerous than Ezekiel Elliott, so we gotta be careful with that. But that being said, Zeke is also having a really good year, so we gotta be careful with him. Again, the Cowboys are just hitting on all cylinders. They just ran into Tampa Bay, which is obviously one of the top 2 or 3 teams of this conference. Other than that, they scraped through the other games. If we could stop their run game, I'm very confident about stopping the pass. But the question is can we get to the quarterback? Prescott, yes, he broke his leg last year, but this guy is still balling, guys. He is still playing hard. He is still scrambling. And we got to keep an eye on him at all times. And most importantly is Prescott is not a small guy. If we're out there and he's going to be shedding tackles left and right, we're in for a long day. So, on defense, what I would love to see against this team, it's a lot of blitzing, a lot of zone. Don't try to get cute playing man against this team. We have to try to just limit them. We're not going to be able to hold them down. We got to try to limit the damage. Again, 24 points is what we're asking for this defense to give the Dallas Cowboys. And honestly, we got to score on offense, and it's just a scary game, honestly, guys. Both on offense and defense. It's going to be interesting to watch, man. I'm not too optimistic about this game because after studying the Dallas Cowboys tape, they look like they're firing all cylinders. We're going to need turnovers in this game because if we don't get turnovers, I don't think the Giants win this game. That's going to wrap up this episode of Breaking Tackles, guys. And once again, my name is Antonio Reyes. Let's go ahead and get this win. What can we say? Let's go Giants, guys. Have a great one.